You may be influencing others without even knowing, but we communicate because we want to influence others. And of course, we want to have a positive influence. The question that a lot of people ask when I do this is they ask me, what is the best style to have? How each of us are unique and how this will help us learn just a little bit more about our way of communication. And if you take a look at patterns we already know in life, we've seen these before. Can you take a guess at what some of these things are?
Tiger,
Zebra.
giraffe.
The reason why we got these right is because we are already familiar with these patterns. Because we know these patterns, we could guess what these animals were without even looking at the bigger picture. Same process holds true for human beings. If you know the pattern for how some of us communicate, if you know the pattern of how you communicate and how others communicate around you, you should be able to communicate really well with each other. You should be able to predict what someone is going to do or how they're going to react to something based on knowing their DISC style, process of communication. You've got a dominant personality where you have to be in control. If you are someone who people describe as fun to be around and outgoing and likes to tell stories, then you have an influencing personality. So we'll make it fun though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some words, only a couple, okay? And as soon as you think you know which style this is, I want you to call it out. Is it the I, is it S, is it C, or is it D? All right, here we go. So it's just gonna start popping out.
S.
Yes.
And you're right.
Yeah.
Good job. All right. We want to influence others. As leaders, and if you're familiar with John Maxwell's work, leadership is influence. And you may be influencing others without even knowing. But we communicate because we want to influence others. And of course, we want to have a positive influence, not a negative one. And we want to motivate. If you are a team leader, a group leader, a reason for why others are motivated and moved to do something, like volunteer at the Rotary and help, right? We express feelings. Now, if you had come up here and gave us the wrong message, God knows what we would have thought. Where are you pocketing the money, right? But communication is important. And communicating feelings is also important because most of the time issues we have with people is we don't understand how they're feeling. And so it comes off the wrong way, or we seem cold or too distant. And so once we understand their style, we're able to better communicate, to eliminate that, and to inform. We communicate because we let others know what's going on. The question that a lot of people ask when I do this is they ask me, what is the best style to have? Which one? What do you think? A lot of you avoided the D, but what do you think is the best style to have?
I don't think there's a best style, but I do think you want to make sure that you have a mix of styles in a group. You don't want to all be the same.
Very good perspective.
Because you'll never get anything done.
If you have all the I's together, or constantly just want to chat, or all the C's who constantly just
party,
want
yeah.
Yeah.
Never get out of here.
I was going to say, if you want to run for office, you should be D. If you want to be in marketing, you should be I. If you want to be a good friend, you should be S. And C, they can rely on everybody else.
Well, very good perspective. But to answer back my question, the best style is your style.
Mm-hmm.
It defines who you are. There is no best. It just tells you who you are, how you best communicate, what are your strengths, what are your obstacles, how others communicate with you, basically. And I did this assessment a few years ago. I was still a principal back then, and it got me thinking about all the things I was doing and the way I was communicating with others. And that's when I got some of the administrators to actually do the assessment. And it was really gratifying knowing how to communicate with others and how to best serve them.